Fausto, we appreciate you being here. You do an awesome job, and that's why we always have you back. So at this time, I will turn things over to you.
All right, well, thanks for having me, Morgan, again. Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Just want to do a quick audio check. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let me just get right with the slide here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I blew out your speakers. Okay, hold on one second. All right, just a quick little fix. Does it sound a little bit better now, ladies and gentlemen? All right, looks like the computer had a microphone, was picking me up from there, and it wasn't using my headset. All right, so we got an hour to talk, ladies and gentlemen, so I look forward to this hour. Once again, my name is Fausto Pugliese. Thank you very much for having me at Tradingpub, and it's been a great presentation so far and has done so far. Yes, you probably heard it several times, but, you know, I was in Las Vegas, and I did meet a lot of the speakers, some place where we always get to meet. It's a great opportunity, by the way, guys. If you ever want to expand your knowledge and see, the speakers that have trained you, or put the face together. I know I have my ugly face up there, but sometimes it's a great opportunity, and it's also a write-off for some of you, to go and go to Las Vegas or come to New York in February. Always look and see where we are. We always let you know where we are, and if there's ever the opportunity to get there, always go there. I mean, and for myself, just to let you know, great traders never stop learning. Even myself, being a great trader myself, some of you probably will catch me in a couple of presentations because I always learn something new myself. I don't think I'm the expert of everything. But the thing is, being a great trader is the same reason why all of you are here, is because you're here to enhance your knowledge. And let me just give you a little heads up when it comes to trading. I always tell students that want to learn how to trade that 90% of your time is spent on education. 10% of the time is not. I already made my money trading this morning. I'm going to talk about some stocks that I've worked with in my trading room and my students, and hopefully some of you probably saw some of them yourselves, but we'll talk about them. I'll educate you a little bit about it, because today's main presentation is about pre-market trading. Now, I make most of my money in pre-market. And I'm going to explain in a little more detail what is pre-market, how does it work, why do we even have it, and why people tell you to stay away from it, because they don't know what they're talking about, and I'm going to tell you why, because they don't have the right tools. And the tools is what's important. Remember, to be a good mechanic, if you don't have tools, there's no way you could be a mechanic. You want to be a carpenter without the right hammer and nails, you're never going to be able to build a house. Being a good trader, there are certain tools that you need to be very successful, and most importantly, there are certain times to trade where the money is being made the most, and that is basically what I'm going to teach you. Now, just to get to know a little bit about everyone here, can everyone tell me what kind of trader is everyone here? Are you a swing trader, day trader, stock trader, options trader? What kind of trader you're looking to be? Just to kind of get a little bit of the feedback of what kind of traders we have. Okay, a lot of day traders, good. Options. George says swing trading would be a day trader, found it too hard to do. All right, well, George, I could tell you this. Day trading is actually a lot easier, a lot more controllable than swing trading, and it's just, I could tell you probably the main reason why that is you're probably looking at the wrong stocks or what you're looking at. Morning trading, swing trade. So, wow, it looks like we have a lot of stock traders here and a couple of Forex traders. That's very good. All right. So what I'm going to basically talk about, you can apply to other things in the market, futures, swing trading, options. Oh, by the way, I always mention to all my option friends out there, if you want to be a good options trader, you have to learn how to trade the stock first before you could be a very good options trader. So just always like to kind of remind people about that, because remember, it's the movement of the stock that makes the option move. All right. Now, just a quick little intro about Cyber Trading University. I know you probably hear this all the time, and but I always want you guys to feel comfortable on who you're talking to, who I am, what we've accomplished. The thing that makes traders very, very good at what you do is because we all have very good personalities, different attitudes, and the whole thing is you have to bond with that mentor. I mean, we have some great speakers here today, and you know what? We all trade exactly about 70% exactly the same. We only have a 30% difference, and that 30% is a style and personality, okay? But we all pretty much went to the same school, and one of the main schools that we've learned in trading is that trading is a job, and that's what you're going to learn. So just a quick little background about who I am before I start educating all of you about pre-market and high-frequency trades and, dark pools and how to find stocks. Just to let you know, I was you over 20 years ago. I started trading back in 1995. I know that sounds like a long time. I'm 42 years old. I started when I was a little over 20 years old. Very, very young when I started. And the thing is, I live in New York, the financial capital of the world, and living in New York, I was trained by some of the best traders in the world. Now, before I became a very good trader, I actually became a very good losing trader because I was one of the people out there that was self-taught. And let me tell you, I hope no one here ever takes that that avenue. It's not a fun experience. More importantly, losing money and then trying to learn later, it's even worse. But the thing is, I was one of them because me as a young kid, I had a big ego. I didn't think I need someone to teach me. So I went out there and I started trading on my own, opening up a brokerage account, doing, trading on E-Trade, listening to CNBC. Got lucky a few times. Now my ego really took off. But what happened was I never knew how to control losses. And I didn't know I didn't know that this was a part-time job, and I was really stressing out. And it took me almost blowing up 3 accounts before I realized that I figured that this is the best job in the world. That's why all the speakers are here. We love what we do, and it is the best job in the world because you are your own boss. You can come and go whenever you please. You can do this anywhere in the world. You do it in your pajamas, which probably some of you are in them right now. And the thing is, to be successful, you need someone to teach you how to do it. And that's what I didn't do, and that's why I lost miserably. Now, fortunately for me, living here in New York, I didn't have the technology what you guys have right now. I wasn't able to do webinar. Webinars didn't even exist until 2000. Back when I started, if you really wanted to learn, you had to come to New York. You had to fly here. It was very expensive, but I was here. I lived here. It was great. And because I knew a lot of people in the industry, I listened to a couple of traders, and I had one trader take me under his wing and showed me how to trade. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a lot of you are going to probably learn by listening to me, and you're going to be listening to other instructors here at today's presentation. Sometimes you're going to wish you never made your first trade. You sit there and smack yourself in the head and be like, you know what? That's exactly what I keep doing wrong every 2 minutes. Why didn't I listen to him before? Why wasn't I here before? That's what you're going to learn. And let me tell you, I don't know, has any of you ever heard of the So's Bandits, the original So's Bandits? Anyone ever heard of that? Anyone read the old books? They talk about the So's Bandits. because I was one of the original So's Bandits, and So's Bandits were the original day traders. When I started, it was about 1,000 of us. Now there's over 10 million. So you can look at me as being your great-great-grandfather that helped pioneer the trading industry. And you know what? Nothing has changed other than technology from the day I started till today. Now, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, being a great trader, how I got into education, because I know that's the next thing people ask. They says, Fausto, if you're such a great trader, why do you teach? Well, I didn't intend to teach. People, you know, I was a kid, 24 years old. I was semi-retired, believe it or not. You were, Steve, you were at Old Tech too? Sad story about what happened to Harvey Halkin. He was one of the pioneers of the whole thing himself. But the thing is that when I started trading, people kept asking me, could you teach me? Yeah, he died, unfortunately. And send me an email. I'll send you you could probably read up the article. Sad story. But anyway, getting back to about how I became very good is I started competing, and I started competing trading against other traders. I became 12-time champion. People kept asking me, can you teach me how to trade? Could you show me? And you know what? I didn't want anybody to go through what I went through. And I don't know if you guys know this, but 80% of the people in the world fail and lose in trading. Did you know that? 80%. Do you want to be part of that 80%? Do you want to actually go out there and be part of those people lose money and give money all day? Of course not. Well, I didn't want that to happen, and that's why I'm here today. And that's why I love what I do, because I could show you how to do it, because people like me and all the other speakers here, we do it every day. We could do it with our eyes closed. You thought it was 95%? You know, I'm trying to be generous, George, but maybe you're right. Maybe it is 95%, okay? But the thing is, you don't want to be part of that failure rate. And let me tell you why most people fail in the industry. Because 90% of your time is not being spent on education. You know, moving forward, kind of telling everyone here, you know, anyone familiar, who invented the light bulb? Anybody know who invented the light bulb? Thomas Edison, right? Does everybody know that? Okay. Did you guys know it took Thomas Edison 1,000 times before he figured out how to invent the light bulb? Now, did you know that out of those 1,000 times, he was never wrong? When I trade, I'm never wrong. I'm old, and the same thing. I know it sounds crazy, but listen to me carefully. Same thing about Thomas Edison. The reason why is I'm not wrong, and he wasn't wrong. It's just the problem is the last time he did it didn't work. That's what happens. See, the thing that you have to learn in trading is that when you tried to trade, that's why you're here. You tried it. The way you thought it was going to work didn't work. So now you're trying a different way. So it's not that you were wrong. It just didn't work. So you're trying something different. And that's what you're going to learn today. By you being here, you're going to learn something new, and then hopefully you're going to be able to apply it and move on with it so you could do it every day. With one of the biggest failure rates in trading, it's not having the right tool. And let's talk about the number one most important tool on a trading system, which is called an ECN, which I'm going to talk about. Now, a question for all of you, and I always ask a lot of questions. Number one, I would like to make sure you guys are listening and paying attention, so hopefully I'll get over 1,000 responses. I'm going to ask all of you a very simple question, and this is what it is. Can everyone tell me, how do stocks go up and down in the stock market? How does stocks go up and go down? It's a very simple question. All of you should answer this question. Allie, what about you? Al, Mike, John, Bill, George, Frank? Come on, guys, wake up. Just like one of you just in the chat room, how you falling asleep. Don't fall asleep on me. That's exactly right. Supply and demand, all right? Everyone, put S&D. Just write S&D in the chat room. Supply and demand. It's not that difficult, right? Well, let me ask you another very important question. How valuable would it be to your trading if you were able to see the supply and demand? I mean, what's that worth to you? I mean, what would you do if you were able to see that on every stock that you're in, to see the buyers and sellers, where they are, what are they doing, how many shares they're buying, selling? It'd be worth millions, right? Wow. I wish you would pay me millions. Well, the thing is, it would be very helpful. Hey, listen, it's only information that's going to help you making sure you're on the right side, okay? And that's right, Samuel, but it's more than that. The easiest thing to do is to buy something. The hardest part of doing it is learning how to use it. So you can go out there and you can get it for free through your brokerage firm, not even pay $15 or whatever it costs. The problem is you need to know how to use that data. So let's talk about that data. Let me just get my crayons out here. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. So right here we have what's called total view, all right, which is I call level 3. And right here you have the buyers, and right here you have the sellers. Now what you're seeing right here is a bunch of orders. These are shares. And what you're seeing here is a bid price, and you're seeing one line. See that 200 shares? That 200 shares could be one person, it could be 10 people. And people looking to buy 200 shares at $4.11. Now, when you work your way down that list, you could see at different prices, you'll find people looking to buy the stock, you know, for more shares than others. Now, remember, the difference, what you're seeing here, is you're seeing orders. You're seeing what's called the high-frequency trades. Does anybody know what high-frequency trades are? Anybody know what high-frequency trades? A lot of you do? Okay, good. This is what they are. And the thing is, when you're looking at these orders, you're seeing the buyers and you're seeing the sellers. Now, let me change the slide here. So basically, what is it? Okay, what is total view? It's not robots, Cornell. I mean, listen, once again, this is where and why people lose money in the market, okay? I'm just looking at, like, DG asking me, I think Fidelity uses it. Well, you think? You should know. That's like saying, I think my car takes regular gas. But what's diesel? Because they ran out of gas. Maybe it'll work with diesel. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use these metaphors because these are things that you guys need to know. And Tony, that is false. That is false. It's called program trading. You know, when it comes to computer programs, that is a fraction of what's involved. There are people like you going out there placing bids and offers, not just computers. The bottom line is you're seeing orders. You're seeing institutions. You're seeing market makers, brokerage firms, what they want to buy and what they want to sell the stock for. So basically what it is a couple of definitions over here. It gives you access to the market data that you can't get anywhere else. You get to see all the participants buying it, all of them selling it at multiple price levels. You get to see anonymous orders that are submitted on NASDAQ or ARCA or any of the exchanges, but you're seeing where the orders are. Let me ask you all a question. Does anybody here know how to read a chart? I know it's a very stupid question, right? Anyone here know how to read a chart? Yes or no? I think that's the first thing people learn, right? They read a chart. Well, if you guys are such great chart readers, then maybe you can explain to me what is a support, what makes support and resistance levels on a chart. Can you guys answer that? The market? No, John. That's right. Price, supply and demand. Okay? So let me just give you a quick advice. Let me teach you Charting 101, which I find more than half the people read charts reading them backwards. What makes support and resistance levels on a chart are these orders that are out there to buy and these orders out there to sell. Okay? That's what makes support and resistance levels. Not Mr. Fibonacci, not Mr. MACD, not Mr. 200 moving average, and sure enough, it's not going to be, Mr. Whoever, Mr. Indicator, everything else that's out there. What makes these support and resistance, these pivot points, they look at the chart, are previous support and resistance levels by orders. Now, is it possible of an order to get to be executed? Is it possible? I mean, for example, is it possible for the stock to break a support and resistance level? Yes or no? Of course. They break all the time, right? And all the time they break it. Supports and resistance levels are made to be broken. Well, how in the hell does a support and resistance get broken? Well, very simple. Because the seller that was there in the past, that's there now, did two things. He canceled his order or somebody bought it from him. How many times have you been and thought when you were at support and resistance levels where you anticipated buying it or selling it and it did the total opposite? Ever happened to anyone? All the time? Okay? Well, it's not you. It's not that they're watching you. It's just you didn't see what was going on the street. And I'll give you an example. You watch CNBC all day long. You ever see the traders on the floor of the exchange? What do you think they're doing? They're watching the market. They're watching the data. And, this is one of the things, the first biggest mistake why people lose money. Now, let me tell you a little history about myself. Just going to go back. I know I want to bore you with this, but I think you'll find this very interesting. When I originally wanted to get into the business, okay, and learn how to trade, what happened was I went to I would have to take a step back and tell you this, that yes, I did go out there and I did learn. I wanted to learn. I really, truly wanted to do what all of you guys are doing today. I wanted to go out there and I wanted to get educated. But there was one problem about education. And let me tell you, it wasn't the time. It was the money. Somebody told me, he says, oh, it's going to cost you, X amount of dollars, to buy this software and this. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I going to pay to buy something when I get it free from my own brokerage firm? You know how many times I hear that today? Let me tell you what my mentor always taught me. He says, Fausto, the only thing is free is the cheese and the mousetrap. Okay? And you're no dummy. Now, if you want to be a dummy, go right ahead and see what happens when you get caught in that cage. All right? The thing is, nothing is free in this world. All right? And when it comes to technology and software, when I originally started, the data I was telling you about cost me $800 a month. And I just could not justify coming up with $800 a month. You're like, wait a minute, you're gonna tell me I could get level 2 quotes for $800? I mean, what do I need it for? And looking at this, I'm like, wow, that's really good information. And how some of you just said, wow, that's priceless. Oh, that's worth $1 million. But then when the guy says, okay, Fausto, MasterCard or Visa, or how you want to pay cash, I'm like, well, let me think about it. And my mentor is like, what do you need to think about? Making money? This is how we make money. Yeah, maybe I want to try it, see how it goes. Let me tell you. It took me over $100,000 in losses to realize that the $800 I could have spent was the best investment I could have made. Because this little thing that I'm showing you is the same stuff that we've been trading for years. Nothing has changed. Actually, when I started, it used to be called, and I know one of you here said you were from Alltech, but this used to be called the Instanet machine, where the institutions trade. Now all this information is all available for you for a fraction of the price. You know what's so funny? When I started, I used to pay $20 a trade, a ticket. Now you're getting tickets for like $5, $7, and you're still getting people complaining. You know, just remember, it's part of doing business. Now, scanning the market. People always ask me, well, Fausto, how did you find that stock? How did you find that stock? How did you find this stock? Well, I'm going to tell you how I found it, okay? The easiest thing to do is finding them. The hardest part is executing them. And I'm not just talking about just hitting the buy and sell. I'm talking mentally preparing and getting ready to get in and out of them. Now, let me bring up one stock here. CAMT. Steve, you paid $25 for, yeah, okay, I believe it. That's exactly right. I remember that. I used to pay the same thing. And you know what? That was some of the best money I've ever spent and made a lot of money from it. But in today's times, people are crying and say, well, you know, $5 is still a lot of money. and back then, I used to make money paying $25 a ticket. Used to pay $25 in commissions just in per day. Anybody have a calculator? I know what he's doing because I used to do the same thing. $25, 25,000 times 5 days a week times 52 weeks. Used to pay $650,000 in commission, Steve. All right? So and he made money. So think about it, paying over $500,000 in commissions, and he still made money. Now, let's talk about CAMT. Anybody hear about this stock, CAMT? CAMT. Anyone hear about it? Anybody traded today? Anybody heard? Nobody heard about it. Nobody? None. John heard about it. Sherry did trade it today. Okay. Let me tell you a little strategy on how I teach my students, and I'm going to invite all of you tomorrow. I'm going to teach a little bit more about high frequency trades and charts and everything else. So, you know, basically, today's event, I'm going to invite all of you to come join me tomorrow for a 2-day event, which I'm going to do some live trading and teach you this stuff. Okay, how to trade in pre-market. But here's a stock symbol. This is my tweet. I tweeted this stock, and you can see the time right here. What I do is I do a webinar at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So by the time I finished my meeting and then I tweeted it, it was 9:19. Okay. By the way, is anybody here? I know I have students that are trading. Anybody here part of my cyber group room? Anyone here part of it? I don't know if anyone's here logged in, but there's a stock that I traded, and you could see right here, CAMT is on the list. Now what happens is, there's a few stocks you could see that I found, but I can't trade all of them. You don't know how good they're going to be until they open at 9:30. But what you can see is that there was a lot of action before the market opened up. And here's 8:30, which is 5:30 Pacific time. And you could see right here it started making a move, okay? So by the time I tweeted this, it was probably right around here. Now, you're probably looking at it like, wow, this stock went from $3 to $3.90 in an hour? That's a pretty good deal. I mean, my God, but most people be thinking, well, the stock already ran. I mean, that's a lot of money right there, right? Huge pre-market volume. Yes, absolutely. Now, watch what happens when they change the slide. What we were looking at, ladies and gentlemen, was right here. Okay? And you could see here at, actually, I'm sorry, right here is where we were looking at. Here's 930. And then right at 930, you could see the stock just literally went from $3.90 all the way up to $5.20. It just popped. Okay? Now, look it up. I'm not lying. Look it up on your, if you have an execution system, all this stuff. Well, news, if you look at the 2-day chart, news came out yesterday. It was 2 days ago on Friday. It was actually a $2 stock, and it went to $5. By the way, how much percent is that in 2 days? About 250%? When's the last time you guys did a swing trade up 250%? Anyone? When's the last time? Never? Okay. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you the truth. We do this every day. Every day. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to prove it to you tomorrow morning. I'm going to teach you, and I'll show you where to find them. Every day we do this. And the reason why some of you never did this, because no one ever taught you. And that's why I'm going back to, back to the big guy who invented the light bulb. Okay, Mr. Watson. You are not wrong. What happened to you is just whatever you're doing in the past didn't work. And I'm going to change that. And that's why you made an opportunity to come here today, because now you're going to say, you know what? What I did in the past didn't work. Now I'm going to try something different and see if that works. Because eventually, you are going to invent a light bulb. And what I mean by inventing a light bulb, you are also going to learn how to make a lot of money in trading and realize why trading is the best job in the world. Okay? And finding stocks where you could trade from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, work less than an hour, and find stocks that go up $2,000 and only risking $3,000 on a $3 stock. Okay? They're there every day. Actually, I'm going to show you another one. ARIA. Anyone hear about this one? Anybody trade this one today? This was another one of our picks. Here's the tweet. Okay? Right there. Some of you did. You heard it from me, Barry. Okay, good. Yes, you traded it last week, Sherry. Well, why don't you trade today, Sherry, because today it's making its move. You were in it a couple of months ago. All right. Well, yeah, and you know what? I'm going to go back and show you what happened a couple of months, okay? But here's a stock also you could see here in the pre-market. This is this morning, okay? Do M for Monday, and this was Friday, okay? This is what happened Friday. And on Friday, the stock went from $3.40 up until 12 o'clock, went to $4. So you're talking a good 60 cents. I don't know about you, but 60 cents is not bad. Peter, I think you got to fix that number of 78K. It's not 78K, it's 78M as a million. There you go. Thank you very much. 78 million. Now, what happened this morning, When I do my trading room, we found, you can see the stock obviously gapped up from Friday until here. Okay, you can see how it moved up. And but what happened, there was a lot of pre-market trading, a lot of volume going on. All right, so these are the things that I look for. Once again, when you're trading a pre-market, you know what's happening. You're seeing the action, you're seeing the buyers, you're seeing all the pre-market trading, you're seeing all that good stuff. Yes, Jeff, you can. And by the way, Jeff, I am actually going to be on Thinkorswim on December 4th. I'll be in Chicago doing an event for them. Okay? But you don't have to wait till then, because I'm going to show you tomorrow how to come and join me. So here you have a stock, okay, right here. Now, for some of you, you probably have an execution system and start typing in and like, let me look at ARIA. What happened to ARIA? Where is it now? Well, I'll tell you where it is now. ARA, when we saw it in the pre-market, it started and it went from $4 all the way to a high of $5.20. Okay? Look at that run. And you know what? Even if you just trade it to 11 o'clock, which is what I like to teach people, to work an hour a day, you could have bought it and went from $4 all the way to $4.50. And think about it, 50 cents in what, an hour on 1,000 shares? That's a $4,000 investment. I'm not telling you to buy, Facebook at $44, the QQQs at $84, or, obviously the most popular one people like, but they can't afford it, so they think they trade the options. Apple at $523, Google at $1,050. I'm talking about a $4 stock. Now, I don't even care what this company does. I don't even want to know. But for some of my students that have been here for a while, we've been watching this stock because this stock was a $20 stock and gapped down, opened up at 6, went all the way down to $2, and now it's finally making what we call a dead cat bounce. Okay? Joe, how did you find these stocks? Well, this is what I'm trying to answer for Joe's question. I've been watching the stock for about a couple of weeks, okay? And, I was waiting for the volume to pick up, meaning maybe the CEOs are averaging down. I don't know, maybe they're doing something, but sure enough, they did, and now we're having a good rally going up, okay? So these are the things that you have to look at. So the thing is this. These are the things that we teach you that I could train you how to find these stocks. I mean, who here wants to work an hour a day, okay, and make $50,000 a year? Anybody happy with that? If you come from a $100,000 a year salary working full-time, a 50% raise. That's all I'm asking. Okay. Well, basically, to make that, that's 20 cents on 1,000 shares. That's it, 20 cents. Think about that. 20 lousy little cents. That's buying this much of the movement right there. That's it. Not making everything, not making the whole thing, just making that little piece, or maybe buying it here for 20 cents, or buying it here for 20 cents, or buying it here. That's it. You had plenty of opportunity to jump in and make a day's pay. Okay? These are the things that it took me with experience and being ignorant, because what you guys are doing is where I was 20 years ago. And my mentor taught me, he says, Fausto, I could teach how to do this. I want you to do this. I need more people like you to do this. You don't need stockbrokers anymore. You don't need mutual funds or hedge funds. You can do it yourself. Why do you need someone to trade your IRA? Why do you need to give it to a mutual fund? You can do it yourself. And that's something you have to look at. So finding them is not hard. having someone to teach you how to find them is where the education comes in, because you're not going to learn this. Listen, you're not going to, just because it was here today doesn't mean you're not going to find one tomorrow. You need someone to teach you. You need a mentor. And I believe that I could be that mentor for you, but it's going to take time and it's going to take a lot of work. Anybody here have a problem of sitting back, taking a couple of months off to learn how to trade? Anyone have a problem with that? Jeff, you don't? Nobody? Okay, good. Because if you do, I recommend you to go back to your day job. All right? Now, this is my number one recommendation to all of you. If you're not going to sit back and take some time off and learn how to do it right, all that's going to happen is you're going to lose it in the money in the stock market. And let me tell you, the worst thing about losing money is not knowing why you lost it, because you'll keep doing it again and again and again. And that's what makes you wrong. You want to learn and understand how to read all these bar charts and seeing why these things are starting to build high-frequency trades in pre-market and getting prepared. By the way, this is that stock that I just told you, the CAMT. And seeing how these things are starting to build up, and then sure enough, right at the open, bam, thing takes off. I'll show you how to find them, but you need someone to teach you. Jim, I don't use candlesticks they don't work for day trading. Maybe they work for swing trading and investing, but I don't need to see a green bar going straight up. My main concern is the high of the day and the low of the day. Tony says, how much is needed? Can one use options? Tony, please understand something. You want to learn how to trade options? Well, you have to learn how to trade the stock first. You know why most people lose in options? Because they trade options. It's a poor man playing a rich man's game. They figure they can't afford the stock, so they trade the option. And that's okay. But you got to learn how to trade the stock first. You got to know why the stock is moving. And that's why a lot of people lose in trading, in options. Options is the biggest failure rate. You think stocks are hard to trade? Try options. There's like a million different ways to trade options. Now, there's great opportunity to trade options, but to find that opportunity is to first find the stock that's moving. You don't want to say, well, I can't afford these stocks, but I heard like Apple's got good options. That's why I trade Apple all day. That is the biggest losing proposition that anyone could have. Can you show a ticker of a huge volume pre-market, but short can be done? Oh, absolutely, all the time. All the time we see that. That happened with the stock today with LGF, down 10%. I don't know if you saw that one. There was a lot of them. Also, there was TSL, Trina Solar Limited. That one had one. It was down 10% today, 6.4 million shares. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We see them all day long. That's not the hard part. The hard part, like I told you, is putting the time away. Now, for some of you, ladies and gentlemen, now what I like to do is see if some of you want to come and join me so I could teach you how to do this, okay? Now, for some of you, if you don't know this, Cyber Trading University teaches for more brokerage firms than any school in the industry. Thinkorswim, FXCM, TradeStation. Actually, we did a big event with John Nigerian from Trade Monster, big options guy. There you go. You want to learn options? But once again, if you want, he sends a lot of people to Cyber Trading University because we teach you how to trade the stocks, eSignal, Lightspeed. These just to name a few. But we do education for over 50 of them all over the world, do more education than any brokerage firm, any school in the industry. Now, also for some of you, I don't know if you know this, but we were ranked #1 school 6 years in a row by Equities Magazine, and I am also a 12-time champion winner at the Money Show Traders Expo. Okay, and now tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be doing some live trading, teaching a little bit more about trading the market. All right, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. All right. Listen, the thing that I like everybody to know is first I want you to get to know who your mentor is. I want you to get to know who I am, see if you like what I'm teaching, see if it's something that interests you. So it's not going to cost you anything. So anyway, who here could come and join me tomorrow? And if you can, it will be recorded, so you could always come back and watch it again. I'll put the link in the box for you, absolutely. Let me see if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it, but I know that Morgan could do it. Post it up there. There you go. There's the link. You could actually go right to our homepage or our website. Right, there's the main banner right in the front. Just click on that link. There you go. Morgan just posted up there. Yeah, just click on that link. And if you can't make it, it's going to be recorded. It's about an hour. It's not going to be the marathon like we're running right now. So I'll teach you a couple of more things. And then hopefully if you guys like it, then maybe you'll subscribe and be a student. And I could coach you and mentor you for the next several months. But let me just tell you, everyone here, something very important. You know, Tradingpub does a very good job by bringing some great speakers, great education advisors. And the thing that you have to look at is you need to listen to all of them. You need to make sure who do you like, who you could adapt to, what is your trading style, okay? That's most important. But I'm going to give you advice, and I know every single speaker is going to tell you the same thing. And I'm going to tell you the same thing also. Please do not take what we're teaching you unless we're going to train you how to do it. You can't learn how to trade in a 1-hour presentation. It's impossible. Okay? That's like saying you go to the doctor, he's going to do brain surgery on your loved ones, and he's going to say, oh yeah, I just took a class an hour ago. I'm all ready to start working on your kid. Now I know that sounds crazy, but you got money on the line, and that's, as ridiculous as that sounds, is the same exact thing. So once again, you got a great presentation going on today. You got some great speakers. You can always learn 1 or 2 things, but once again, you need to learn from somebody that's going to mentor you. And if you like options, there's some good options instructors. You want to learn swing trading, good swing trading. You want to learn from day trading. Hopefully I'll get the opportunity to mentor you, but do not go out there and try to do what I did. And why I became the biggest failure rate is because I was one of those people that wanted to be self-taught. So, in other words, if you think education's expensive, try ignorance. That's what you have to look at. So everything there, guys, you're more than welcome to join me. 12 o'clock tomorrow. It's a free webinar. I'm going to do another presentation talking more about the high-frequency trades. I'll bring up the execution system. I'll show you what's moving, and then we'll go from there. And if you can't make it, it will be recorded, but just register for it. A couple of questions. I got about 5 more minutes. Anyone here have any questions? I agree. Fear and greed is the biggest enemy. It sure is, Jim. And it's the biggest failure rate. Richard says, you're only as good as the teacher. Well, Richard, the thing is, the more that, what's going to happen to all of you when you guys learn how to trade? You're going to be a teacher yourself. Believe me, we all give back to the community. That's why teachers become teachers. That's why your professors are there. It's a lot of work. I know it costs money. I know it's the first thing people says, oh, well, it costs money to do it. Yeah, I know. But you know what? Nothing is free in this world, and nothing is easy, and it takes time. It costs money to teach people. But if you want to learn, that's what you need to do. A couple of questions. What is the percent of the trades done on the, I'll call it the dark market, in the high frequency, about 70%, George. So guess what? You can see 70% of the volume, what's going out there. That's right, Jim. It does make up for a couple of trades. Absolutely. What's the minimum amount of money to start with your trading my way? I don't know. You tell me. I showed you a stock just before it started this morning at $3. You buy 1,000 shares. What is that, $3,000? You don't need a lot of money. That's a misconception that people get. Diggy, why can't you see the dark pools? Because no one ever taught you how to do it, and I'll teach you how to do it. That's why. You don't have the right tools. Any other questions? And also, guys, if you have any questions, like I answer all my emails. I'm going to give you my personal email address. All right, guys? FaustoP@CTU Corp. So feel free to email me if you have any questions. All right, so anyway, what trading platform do I like? It's not what I like, George. It's what you can get. Everybody is different. Everybody has different market interests. Some brokerage firms are better than others, depending on how diversified in your trading you are. They're all the same, George. You know, the thing is, I'll teach you how to trade, and then you can go from there, and we'll give you a couple of places after we can, you know, because one thing we do here is we make sure you're set up with the brokerage firm that's, or tell you who probably the best suited for yourself, George. Because not everybody, you know, is a great brokerage firm, but but some of them are great, but you have the wrong one because you're doing different trading, and they don't offer that. Al, how many students I teach at a time? 20 students in my paid courses. Julian, once again, call the office. I talk to one of the education advisors. They'll be happy to help you out with that. The registration is right on the right-hand side. When you click on the home, when you click on that link in the yellow box on the right, you'll see it says register below, and you just put your name, email, and phone number. That's all. All you need to do. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope I was able to teach you one or two things. Listen, the party's not over. There's still a lot more to come here on the Trading Pub. So once again, I'd like to thank Morgan for having me. If anyone's interested, you can call us right now, talk to an education advisor. You can register for free online, and you could send me an email if you have any questions. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much. Morgan, once again, great job again as usual. And for everyone, enjoy the rest of your day and your presentation here at the Trading Pub. From myself and everyone at Cyber Trading University, thank you, and happy trading.